Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Toluche Francis, aka The Mentalist. If this is your first time on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and also share with friends. But if you have subscribed before, please share this video you're about to watch, and also click on the like button. And if you have questions, just drop your questions and definitely attend to them when I see them. Thank you. Hello there. So I'm going to begin this series that I have tagged psychological complex series, weakness, compensation, and overcompensation theories. What is a complex? A complex is a whole pattern of emotions, memories, perceptions, and wishes in the personal unconscious organized around a common theme such as power or status. Now, it's primarily a psychoanalytic term, and it is found extensively in the works of Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud, who are fathers of psychology. An example of a complex would be as follows. If one had a leg amputated when one was a child, this would influence one's life in profound ways, even if he or she overcame the physical handicap. A person may have many thoughts, emotions, memories, feelings of inferiority, triumphs, bitterness, and determination centered on that one aspect of his or her life. Now, these thoughts can be troubling and pervasive, and Jung believes that that person has a complex about the legs. Now, the reality of complex is agreed upon as well as psychology. A branch of psychology asserting that the vast majority of the personality is determined and influenced by unconscious processes, according to Jung. Now, we now realize that complexes are of a psychic landscape, and Jung goes on and on to put forward his theory and propound his own position, where he says without a resolution, complexes continue to influence on our thought, feelings, and behavior, and that they keep us from achieving psychological integration. It's also interesting to know that our complexes come from our deepest human experiences. They begin with how we experience our mother and our father. They are formed by emotional encounters that shape us, usually or most notably the negative and traumatic ones, because growing up is always difficult and a struggle, even in the midst of circumstances. No matter how easy those things are, it still could be difficult, come with various experiences and events. Now, if we simply look at the psychoanalyst Erickson's developmental phases, we see that one of them is marked by a crisis. Now, the name he has given to this crisis tells us of their intense and dramatic nature. So, for example, he talks about basic trust versus basic mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus identity confusion, and intimacy versus isolation. Now, every step in growing up presents us with a major challenge and potential of a trauma that can cause a whole village of complexes for us. And so that goes on, and then you begin to realize that complex can also result from injunctions like don't be stupid, do it yourself, please your parents, please your teachers. And this doesn't even get into the big stuff like violence, abuse, illness, loss of a parent, or having disturbed parents. And so you realize that complexes that will affect our lives generally have to do with relationships. The way others respond to us as we grow up shapes our views of ourselves and the world. Now, there are archetypes, and these archetypes are like hidden magnets in our psyche that attract and pattern our experiences and emotions. For example, if my father is bombastic, aggressive, and shames me from being timid and quiet, I will find my emotions defensively patterned by fear into withdrawal and the reluctance to express myself. Now, on a deeper level, I will have anger and resentment for his failure to value and see me as someone who is important. Now, this complex will flood me with fear, confusion, anger, resentment, and I'll begin to see myself as an authoritative figure and not as a bombastic person. But every archetypal image has two poles. The negative father has its opposite, the positive father has its opposite. And so the unrealized potential of a positive pole, right, offers us restrictions towards growing up positively and developing ourselves outside of whatever it is that's been given to us. Now, our ego, our personality, needs to find new strength and emotional balance. And so the issue of psychology complexes belong to a branch of psychology called individual psychology, fathered by Alfred Adler. Now, Alfred Adler had a school called the School of Individual Psychology, where it created a chasm in the field of psychology, which had been dominated by Freud's psychoanalysis. Freud is also a father of psychology. Now, while Freud focused on only the internal processes, many sexual conflicts that affect a person's psychology, Adler was adamant that to fully understand a person, a psychologist must consider other internal factors as well as other external factors. And this is why he named his psychology, his school of psychology, individual. The word is intended to evoke a meaning of indivisibility, derived from the Latin word individuum. Adler came up with the concept of inferiority and superiority complexes. He believed each stemmed from our infancy. Now, there's a theory called the theory of compensation. Now, Adler thought that the basic psychological element of neurosis was a sense of inferiority, and that individuals suffering from the symptoms of this phenomenon spent their lives trying to overcome the feelings without being in touch with reality. Now, let's look at the theory of compensation for weakness. According to Adler, all infants have a feeling of inferiority and inadequacy immediately as they begin to experience the world. This early experience is just as the need to gain the parent's attention, shape the child's unconscious and fictive goals. They give the child a need to strive towards rectifying that inferiority, a need to compensate for weakness by developing other strength. There are several outcomes that can occur as a child's quest for compensation. First, if the child receives adequate nurturing and care, the child can accept these challenges and learn that they can overcome with hard work. Thus, the child develops normally and develops the courage to be imperfect. Then you have the theory of overcompensation. Now, sometimes the process of compensation may go south. One way in which this happens is that the feelings of inferiority become too intense and the child begins to feel as though he has no control over his surroundings. He will strive very strenuously for compensation to the point that compensation is no longer satisfactory. Now, this culminates in a state of overcompensation where the child's focus on meeting his goal is exaggerated and becomes pathological. Now, this concept led to explaining more on inferiority and superiority complex, which I will explain in the next video. Now, so don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video so that when the next video comes up in this series or any other video before then, you will get notification and you'll be able to partake of this series. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.